Good morning, everyone. It's Meteorologist Carly Smith. Time now is 10:16, and we are about to get started on this live update. But first, here's a look at our hour-by-hour forecast on this fabulous Friday. 83 degrees right now at 10 a.m. So we are going to warm up pretty quickly. It'll be nice and humid today as well. Sunshine peeking through, a little glary with all that humidity in place also. But clearing skies through 6 p.m. But then a cold front does move through. We have a chance for a few spotty showers heading into this afternoon, or really overnight, more so this afternoon. Most of the rain today during the daytime hours will be Rockport, Refugio, and northeast of there. So think San Antonio Bay, Matagorda Bay, those locations expected to see most of the rain today. Then, as we head into the overnight hours, we are going to see a cold front move through. Yes, that is right, everyone. Don't get too excited, though. This front barely going to do anything to our temperatures. So what you see here is we near 90 pretty easily across the brush country. I think we'll make it to 90. It'll be a close call for Corpus Christi, but if we do hit 90, we will then be no longer tied, but we'll be in second place for the most 90-degree days in November. Now, there's a good chance we actually break that record. We've got several opportunities for 90s in the future. So even though we're talking about a cold front, it's nothing to get too excited about, but a few spotty showers may pop up. This is paused as area high school football games are getting started. So football may be impacted by a spotty shower, not anticipating much in the way of thunder, so shouldn't see any delays, but just keep an eye out. You may want a rain jacket or an umbrella just in case, but that is a very low chance. I don't expect any rain at your football game, honestly. But as we head into Saturday morning, I know, I believe the Alzheimer walk happening, a couple of walks or runs. Port Aransas having a run, a half marathon, I believe. There may be a few spotty showers out there. Not a guarantee, though, just like with the high school football games, it's going to be spotty. It will be more so near the coast through Saturday morning, and then conditions really start to clear out during the day on Saturday. It'll shape up to be a beautiful day actually on Saturday. Could be near those sunny delight criteria for Chief Meteorologist Alan Holt, with temperatures in the low 80s. Dew point will be right around the mid 60s. So that'll be something to keep in mind. Gusts up to 20-25 miles per hour, but we will have a north-northeast wind behind that cold front. So that'll be a downshore wind. Combine the downshore wind with swell from Hurricane Rafael, and we are going to have some rough conditions out at sea. So we'll talk about that coming up. Here's a look at our temperatures. Yes, there technically is a cold front that moves through tonight. That'll have temperatures with a high around 82 degrees. Lows are back in the 60s for Saturday, Sunday, possibly Monday, Tuesday, but I think we're back around 70 for a low, honestly, Tuesday morning and then Wednesday morning. But then the next cold front blows through. So that'll take our low back as closer to normal, or high closer to normal, but right now we're still trending just slightly above normal, even with the second cold front on tap. That cold front does look a little stronger, but it's not coming with too much in the way of rainfall either. So here's the latest on Rafael, Category 2 hurricane now. It did reach Category 3, which is only the second ever Category 3 hurricane during the month of November in the Gulf of Mexico. So very warm sea surface temperatures still hanging out. Typically things become less active in November because our temperatures start to cool down. We're still pretty warm out there, but regardless, currently still a strong Category 2 hurricane, 110 mile per hour winds, 130 mile per hour gusts. It is moving west now, so that westward movement has it aiming toward Texas, but a lot of things in the forecast going to protect Texas from this hurricane. Now, the rainfall we actually probably could really use. It's going to prevent us from getting much in the way of tropical moisture also, unfortunately. But with that being said, it is going to do this little circle out in the Gulf and then start to head south, weakening pretty quickly. So by Saturday, we're talking no longer a hurricane. And then as we head into early next week, we're talking remnants. So a remnant low drifting into the Bay of Campeche or the southwestern Gulf of Mexico. Those sea surface temperatures are still strong enough to fuel the storm. We've got 80-degree temperatures across much of the Gulf of Mexico, except for the northeastern Gulf of Mexico, where they had a lot of hurricane activity. That is the purpose of a hurricane, is to take the heat from the tropics and move it north. And so we've taken some heat out of the Florida area, not enough, honestly. I'd love to see lower 70s or mid 70s at least. But here's those forecast models. You can see they're kind of still a bit of a mess, but Rafael is expected to weaken, so regardless of where it actually heads, it's essentially going to be ripped apart and weakened. And so once we get into early next week, I don't expect the National Hurricane Center to still be monitoring this system. Here's why it weakens: something called wind shear. There's a decent amount of wind shear. Now, it could be more. That would really rip it apart pretty quickly, but there's a decent amount of wind shear. That high pressure over Mexico going to work to start to steer it south Sunday. B, what that's going to do is start to bring drier air back into the area as well. So you see the cold front, that's going to be our blocker for Texas, saying no hurricanes welcome here. The cold front moves through. It is going to bring some tropical moisture, so that's why I say Rafael almost gets pulled apart. Tropical moisture is pulled north into Louisiana. That's going to produce the chance for some flooding across southern Louisiana, southern Mississippi. But then that high pressure starts to bring the dry air from the continent, dry continental air from Mexico and South Texas into the Gulf of Mexico as that front weakens, and that will really work to dry out Rafael and totally weaken it into that remnant low. So not concerned much with Rafael. As you can see here, here's our big future cast that shows the cold front moving through. Saturday morning, then Rafael kind of just totally weakening in the Gulf of Mexico by next week. Just some remnants of moisture that then will be pulled up Wednesday ahead of our next cold front. This cold front, again, doesn't look like a big rain producer for South Texas, but it will cool our temperatures down. We're going to get a little bit more of a humidity drop. That'll be the big bonus with this second front. As far as water conditions go, cold fronts do tend to mix up our water. On top of that, we get swells from Rafael. Wind is out of the southeast and light. Bays are actually smooth. If you want to get out and go fishing, today's a great day to do it. Watch out for those spotty showers closer to Matagorda to San Antonio Bay. 79 degrees out at Packery Channel for our water temperature. Offshore small craft advisory tonight through Sunday evening. So we do see the winds picking up tonight and into Sunday. Additionally, the wave heights pick up. So we're about 3 foot now. We're going to pick them up to 5 foot later on today. That period about 12 seconds. So that's going to lead to minor coastal flooding. That's the swells from Rafael approaching. Then the cold front's going to move through, help produce a northeast wind that will also boost coastal flooding. High tide at the beach is 10:58 p.m. So I do not suggest any overnight camping in these conditions. That tide will come up much quicker than you anticipate. Packery Channel's high tide is at 6:25 a.m. We could see some minor flooding through Packery Channel. North Beach could see some minor flooding where there's not much sand or beach out there. High tide is early in the morning, 4:59 a.m. So taking a look at our weather impact weekend beach forecast. May stay in the 70s, low 80s on Saturday, more cloud coverage on Saturday, stronger winds and higher waves, 4 to 6 foot waves. Sunday, 4 to 5 foot waves. Both days will have a very dangerous rip current risk, and coastal flooding is expected through the evening and overnight. May come to an end on Sunday, but regardless, it is expected to be pretty rough out there on the beach. Rafael impacts, that is our weather impact alert, is going to be the rip current risk and the coastal flooding. So use caution when swimming, extreme caution. Rip currents are the second most weather-related fatality number over the last 10 years. So that is something we've got to pay attention to and warn anyone that's visiting, especially, that those rip currents can be much stronger than you think. The rip current risk, again, continues through Monday. Then our periods calm out a little bit, but we see the waves increasing with our next cold front passing through. Thank you so much, Lorenzo. Thank you for the comment, everyone. I appreciate the comments or any weather-related questions. Definitely helps with these live updates. Us interact and have a little fun. Sometimes I could just get like monotone and boring, and when you comment, it helps me go, oh, we are humans. But in our wind forecast, we've got north winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. So bays will get a little choppy, but right now the small craft advisory is just for offshore conditions. We see the wind weaken a lot on Sunday. So if I'm going to try to surf, I'm probably going to try Friday, maybe really early Saturday once the front passes through, but then those winds likely going to be too much for me on Saturday. Wind out of the north 2 to 12 miles per hour on Sunday, better surf conditions, but remember the rip currents, they're going to be ripping. There's going to probably be a lot of weird cross currents because we're going to get our northeast winds, which will have our typical swell going a little bit more northeast, but the hurricane is to our southeast. And so that's going to have the swell coming up out of the south. So there may be some weird crossing going on that can create currents that you're not aware of, or bigger pop-ups in the waves that you're not ready for also. So just use caution. Thursday, we do see our wind pick up. I should have put the next cold front. Actually, I didn't move the first cold front. So the cold front moves through Friday night into Saturday. Then we see Thursday, our next cold front move through. So anyway, I didn't show that graphic on first edition. I added it for now. So this one has the cold fronts in the right spot. This is where we're going to end this live update on our 7-day forecast. Make sure to post any questions you have. Overall, unfortunately, rain chance is really low. Lake levels are the lowest, especially for Lake Corpus Christi, that we have seen in 11 years. It was October 20th, the last time our lake levels were below or at 30%. So that is about where we're at Lake Corpus Christi right now, which is just crazy to think about. So we really could use some rain, but there's none in the extended 7-day forecast. Thanks for watching. I'm Meteorologist Carly Smith. Have a wonderful weekend, y'all.